And I want to welcome all of you here tonight. Mayor Kaler is at the graduation of West Kentucky Community Technical College and unable to be here tonight, so I get the opportunity to fill in. City Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Commissioner Abraham.
Present.
Commissioner Galt.
Present.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Kaler.
Okay. Well, with us tonight for our invocation is Reverend Russ Wilson. He's the Associate Pastor of First Baptist Church. So we appreciate you being here tonight, and he has his sons with him, so thank you for being here. Following that will be the Pledge of Allegiance, and Ava Englert is going to lead that for us tonight. She is 4 years old and is the niece of Missy Dotson, who works in our HR department, the daughter of Tony and Katie Englert, and she's a preschooler at Olivet Baptist Church, and will be attending Concord Elementary this fall, and understand her favorite color is purplish pink. And her goals are to either be President of the United States or a dog walker. So, welcome to both of you all. If you would go to the podium, and then if you want to come on up here with me, Ava, that would be great.
Can we bow together, please? Our Father, we come before you today. We thank you for the beauty of your creation, and thank you for a wonderful day, enjoying that. God, I pray for tonight's meeting. I pray, God, that the things that are accomplished are your will. I pray you'll be with our servants of this city, Father, that you will guide them and direct them to make the decisions that you would have them to do. I pray you'll give them grace as they rule over this meeting, Father. I pray in all things you're glorified and honored. And God, we give you praise for who you are and what you've done in our lives. We ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to its republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much for being here. City Manager, are there any additions or deletions?
No, there are not.
Okay. Well, tonight we have a presentation about the National Club Baseball World Series at Brooks Stadium. We're excited to be having that here. And I believe Doc Hiding and Fowler Black are here to tell us more about it.
At this time, the Brooks Stadium Commission would like to thank you for giving us some time to share with you what we think is a great program for the citizens of McCracken County and surrounding counties. Taking time now to present to you the man who's put it together, and that's, we all know, Fowler. He's done a great job, and we hope you appreciate our presentation as well as the tournament we're having.
Thank you all.
Well, it really didn't take much on my part. Actually, it's the city asset of Brooks Stadium that really brought the attention of the National College Baseball or National Club Baseball Association, which is collegiate baseball. And it was they had been calling us for consecutive years in a row, and we were hosting the NAIA tournament, which is included schools like Georgetown and Union University, and brought schools from all across the country. Well, they will be doing the same, except National Club Baseball are flagship universities, such as you may see in front of you the list of the qualifiers. Penn State University, University of Maryland, University of Wisconsin, University of Wyoming. Folks are coming, baseball players are coming from across the country to meet right here in Paducah, and part of the incentive for National Club Baseball was that Paducah, of course as we know it, is geographically centered in a place that is desirable for all of their teams. And there you see the list of teams that will begin traveling tomorrow and will arrive by Thursday, and by Friday the tournament will be underway at Brooks Stadium. And there you see where they're from. Commissioner Abraham won't be able to see it, but all the way from Boston up there to Wyoming, down to Texas, over to Atlanta and up. And so we have 8 teams coming in, and Paducah is pretty much geographically centered, as it turns out. So that worked out well for them. And we are really eager to have these folks in Paducah. Especially, they're really excited about coming downtown and seeing what makes Paducah different from another city. So they look forward to some nightlife down there. It didn't turn out right, but the bracket is there. But play will begin Thursday, and it will ultimately end on Tuesday. One of the really neat things here that I think makes the impact, aside from economic impact, the community impact. We have elementary schools who are using their year field trip to come to Brooks Stadium to watch some of these games. This has happened in the past, but now it's turning into a well-oiled machine. The kids come out of the stadium during the first game, and the baseball players that you see there in blue who are getting ready to warm up for the next game spend some time, about 15 minutes per session, answering questions from elementary students about college and what it means to be a student in college and what it means to be a student athlete in college. One really neat thing about this particular year is that these are club teams. These are student-led organizations, which in a way really is an amazing thing, especially when you've got a student, a player coach. There's a lot of leadership in these teams that are coming, and I can't wait to witness another Q&A with these teams. This was from last year, and that was Louisiana State University, as you can see with the yellow and purple, Shreveport, their Shreveport campus. But it turned out to be a hit, and you couldn't separate the players from the kids or the kids from the players by the time it was time to go. In terms of economic impact for this is we're really excited. The Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet in the state is a key partner for Paducah. We are part of Team Kentucky, and they give us a lot of support. Number one, the bid fee that it took to get this college baseball tournament here was much less than what NAIA was in the past. This was about $3,000, but through a reimbursement program, the state is reimbursing us for that host fee and whatever operation fees that are qualified with Brooks Stadium. You can see here the overnight guests. They've given us a multiplier for the Western Lakes region of Kentucky. And it's 107 for an overnight guest, 61 for a day guest. And there you see, when all 8 teams are in Paducah, you see that top estimated economic impact, and then when the teams are eliminated. Ultimately, you get down to that bottom line impact, and that is looking at participants only. So if nobody showed up for the games to watch it, we'd know that would be the number. But we expect maybe 2 parents per player. So that would almost double that impact. So we are really looking forward to it, and we hope that each one of you can make it out. Doc, do you have anything to say? All right. Any questions? We appreciate
Mr. Abraham, I know you serve on the Brooks Stadium.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I was out Saturday for the Miners game, and it started raining about 5 or 5:30 over there at my house, and I was wondering if it was going to keep it up, but it stopped, and the field was absolutely gorgeous. It cleared up. I'm not a real huge baseball fan until I go to Brooks Stadium, and then I enjoy the event. But I'm not surprised that these guys have been chomping at the bit to get here, and the players will absolutely love that field. So
comments from the past is that this is in some cases the greatest field they played on all year, no matter where they were. And I'd love to take a golf club out there and hit some balls, but I'm not sure he'd let me. But indeed, I mean, this is a testament to the fact that this is Paducah's built heritage. It's an asset, and you can see what returns that asset gives in something like this. You know, you've got flagship universities coming into a place they may not have ever heard of, but certainly won't forget, I can guarantee you. Doc, anything?
I agree and appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Doc Hiding, for all you've
Thank
done
you,
for
Doc.
Brooks Stadium, and Fowler for the Paducah McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau, for all you all are doing to promote tourism in our area. So thank you very much. Next, we have a proclamation for the National Public Works Week. And Rick Murphy, are you going to come up?
come on up here.
Or you want me to read it? Okay. To all to whom these presents shall come, whereas public works, infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to sustainable communities and to health, safety, and well-being of the people of Paducah, and whereas the City of Paducah engineering public works staff are responsible for the efficient operation and maintenance of systems and services, including the streets and right-of-way, stormwater management, flood wall operations, solid waste collection, fleet maintenance, and public buildings. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities and services, as well as their public planning, design, construction, and maintenance, are vitally dependent upon the dedicated efforts and skills of the engineering public works employees. And whereas the year 2013 marks the 53rd annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, and whereas this year's theme, Because of Public Works, is a tribute to all engineering public works employees who create the foundation of a stronger, more livable community. Therefore, Mayor Gail Kaler, Mayor of the City of Paducah, hereby proclaims May 19th through 25th, 2013 as National Public Works Week in the City of Paducah, and call upon all citizens and organizations to recognize the contributions engineering and public works employees make every day to our health, safety, well-being, comfort, and quality of life. So thank you all. It says it very well. No? You want to say something?
I guess I'm expecting. I'm more the talkative one of the group. On behalf of the Engineering Public Works Department, we greatly appreciate this. The staff and the mayor and commission, you typically see me up here, but this is a portion of my support team, of which I'm very pleased and proud of. They work in the back, I guess, in the background, making things work day in and day out, and I'm very pleased to work with them and have them on my team and have them on your team as well. So I take a minute to introduce them. To the far end is Kenny Brannon. He's our flood wall superintendent. When the water gets up, he's the guy you really need to thank for keeping the water out of the city of Paducah. Once it gets beyond 27.5 feet, that's when we start pumping water, and then we pump until it gets below that. But we remember the 2011 flood. Kenny went about, I would say, 68 to 72 hours without any sleep. I finally had to send him home. I had to order him home for that. Next is Neil Ford. He's your fleet supervisor. He keeps in excess of 350. What's the number? A little over 250 rolling stock vehicles running for us every day, from anything from a lawnmower to the biggest dump truck we have, and our fire trucks and garbage trucks and police cars and all that. So that's a big responsibility as well. Then we have, I'm drawing a blank here, and shows you how close we are. Tony Harris, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Michael Ornduff, but that's not Michael. Tony Harris, he is your solid waste supervisor. He supervises your solid waste crews day in and day out, picking up the trash every week. And then we have Randy Crouch, who is your maintenance superintendent, takes care of your buildings and also your fleet as well. Brandy Topper is not here this evening. She had a family function she had to go to, but she takes care of the road reconstruction. She's got two supervisors with Larry Coley and Chris Hyde. And then also Chris Farrell is not here this evening with our supervisory staff, nor is Michael Ornduff, who's your solid waste superintendent. But I have a whole host of, I guess, support team over in the office, the administrative side of that does your public, your project management, your operations management. I'm sorry they couldn't be here tonight, but we all appreciate this very, very much.
Thank you. We appreciate all you all
Welcome.
do.
You're welcome. Good job, guys.
Great. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, all of you. Okay, we also want to recognize the Iron Mom Marathon success. Had the opportunity of working a water booth. Commissioner Galt and I did in our neighborhood, and we really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm assuming 900 and something people came by us on Saturday. Cindy Medford, if you want to update us.
They sure did. Thank you. I'm glad to do so, Mayor Pro Tem. and Commissioners. I'm happy to give you an update. Thank you for the opportunity. Lourdes Paducah Iron Mom Half Marathon and Relay is an event we started 3 years ago, and it's really been embraced by the community. We had 970 plus runners registered for the event from over 15 states. We had 909 finishers of the event, so we had people working hard. We had overwhelming support from the community, city employees doing their part. We had at least 12 city employees run the full 13.1 mile distance. Pam Spencer's here; she ran it. We had so many just complete the event in smoking fast times, and so proud of them. I saw so many people come across the finish line just amazed themselves and their families, and it was just a really positive, fun time. We had over 20 employees out there, like yourselves, on the route, either managing a traffic intersection or chief hydration officer at table 12 or whatever it was out there. They were the most important thing to that runner in that moment during the race, and they're all just super important jobs, and I'm just so proud to work for the city that rose to the call and had so much support from our team.
Could you talk about the support that comes from the Iron Mom and where that support goes?
Sure. The first year of the event, we raised $20,000, and it went to Family Service Society. Of course, that was the year of the flood, and Family Service Society was just inundated with requests of families needing assistance during that time. And last year we raised $25,000, and this year we don't have the tally completed, but we hope to exceed last year's total. We certainly grew by more than 20%. In the number of runners registered.
That's right here helping our people.
Absolutely.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, it was beautiful weather. I mean, the temperature was wonderful. You saw them in long sleeve, short sleeve, all types. So it was really great to see everybody come by, the city employees too. But I think the city really stepped up. Everyone did. So it's a great thing to have here.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of super positive feedback from the runners. Facebook feedback is just so positive. Comments like the portable restroom. You're just so thankful for all of the volunteers on the route, the law enforcement being so strong, the people felt safe and secure out there on the routes, and even warm water at the portable restrooms, plenty of restrooms at the finish, all just great stuff. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Cindy, to all of you. Thank you. Okay, we'll move into the meeting. Commissioner Abraham?
I move that the readings of the minutes for April 23rd and April 30th, 2013 City Commission meetings be waived, and that the minutes of said meetings prepared by the city clerk be approved as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Commissioner Galt with the motions.
Certificate of Insurance, Matt Construction and Excavating, Jim Smith Contracting Company, LLC, Harper Construction, LLC, Raymond Colt Construction, Performance Bonds, Jim Smith Contracting, LLC, Matt Construction and Excavating, Inc., Payment Bond, Jim Smith Contracting, LLC, Contracts and Agreements, Contract for Services for fiscal year 2013-2014 for Lowertown Arts and Music Festival signed by City Manager, Matt Construction and Excavating, Inc. for the Riverfront Redevelopment Project Phase 1A, Powell and Massfield, Jim Smith Contracting Company, LLC for construction of the Ohio River Boat Launch Project, Infill Development Agreement with Higdon Development, Inc., Greenway Village, LLC for Greenway Village Subdivision Phase 1, Recorded Ordinance for street closing for portion of alley for Caldwell Street to Norton Street with quick claim deeds to James L. and Linda Green, MBA and Francis Hamilton, Declaration of Restrictive Covenants for Conservation with the United States Army Corps of Engineers and Kentucky Divisions of Water for the Ohio River Boat Launch Project, Renaissance Area Master Plan, adopted by resolution on April 23, 2013, and Paducah Waterworks financial highlights for period ending March 31st, 2013.
Second.
Any discussion?
Did you say that the ramp
I did. It should.
was adopted? I thought it was accepted.
I thought that as well, but it has adopted here.
It should be accepted.
So do we want to make that correction?
We do that just like that? Okay. So the Renaissance Area Master Plan, it will be changed to say accepted by resolution on April 23rd, 2013.
And Tammy, should these say that these documents are received and filed?
Yes, at the top.
No, it's not.
That's not.
Okay.
That's not.
Any other discussion,
So
comment?
you guys want to vote on the amendment first?
Yep.
Say
Okay.
accepted instead of adopted.
Okay. You call the roll?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Okay, now you want to vote on accepting it
Release
all?
and file documents.
Okay, you want to call the roll?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Okay, now we'll move to motion appointments, and I believe I read it first. Whereas upon the recommendation of Mayor Kaler, I move that the Board of Commissioners appoint Robert Terrence Cross to replace Amber Lee D. Douglas, who has resigned. This term will expire July 24th, 2015. And whereas upon the recommendation of Mayor Kaler, I move that the Board of Commissioners appoint Lincoln Hardy to replace Martha Argote Thomas, whose has expired. This term will expire May 14th, 2016. Let me just go back to comment that those are appointments to the Human Rights Commission. No.
Yes.
Yes. Mayor, Commissioner Rhodes?
I seconded. And then you ready me to read? Do I read now? I move that the Board of Commissioners approve a recommendation of Mayor Pro Tem Mayor
think it is Mayor
Wilson
Kaler.
or Mayor Kaler, whichever, in appointing Robert Terrence Cross and Lincoln Hardy as members of the Paducah Human Rights Commission.
Second.
Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. And now for the Historical Architectural Review Commission. Whereas upon the recommendation of Mayor Kaler, I move that the Board of Commissioners reappoint Paul King and Louis Lavera as members of the Historical and Architectural Review Commission. Their terms will expire June 4th, 2016.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the recommendations of Mayor Kaler in reappointing Paul King and Louis Lavera as members of the Historical and Architectural Review Commission.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Now we move to municipal orders, and Commissioner Galt.
Upon the recommendation of the City Manager, the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah order that the personnel changes on the attached list be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry.
Are there any questions? Missy's here with HR, if we have any. Looks like we're hiring a lot of people to get ready for Noble Park pool opening and other things with the Noble Park for the summer. So that's good to give all the students work. Call the roll.
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes?
On next. Says, I move that a municipal order entitled a municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a grant application and all documents necessary to obtain a 2013 Kentucky Body Armor Reimbursement Grant through the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security Law Enforcement Protection Program to be used for the purchase of body armor by the Paducah Police Department be adopted.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? It's just a grant for reimbursement, correct?
Correct, 8 sets.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Commissioner Abraham?
I move that a municipal order entitled, A Municipal Order Authorizing the City to Obtain an Online 2013 U.S. Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant Award through the U.S. Department of Justice for use by the Police Department be adopted.
Second.
Any discussion? And this is reimbursement of 50%, and then they're going to take the rest out of their operating budget.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Okay. Call the roll.
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Okay, now we're going to move into ordinance and introductions. Commissioner Galt.
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Authorizing and Directing the Mayor to Execute a Contract with the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management of the City of Paducah for a matching grant for the purchase of one diesel-powered generator with automatic transfer switch to be installed at Fire Station Number 1. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute a contract, DOCID number PON 2-095-12000039-572, with the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management for a 2011 Hazardous Mitigation Program Award in the amount of $75,120 in federal funds and $12,019 in state monies for the purchase of one diesel-powered generator and automatic transfer switch to be installed at Fire Station Number 1. The city's cash match will be in the amount of $13,020.
Second.
Okay. Steve.
This contract was previously approved. There was a change between the grantee and FEMA. Because of that change, they're requesting that a new contract be signed by the city of Paducah. All the numbers are basically staying the same.
Okay. We do not vote on it tonight, right? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Okay, just keeping up all the paperwork here. All right. I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Authorizing the Mayor to execute a deed of conveyance and all documents necessary for acquisition of a portion of real property located at 5315 Stanley Cemetery Road for the Olivet Church Road Improvement Project. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The mayor is hereby authorized to execute a deed of conveyance and all documents relating to same with Gary and Joy Spear for acquisition of a portion of real property located at 5315 Stanley Cemetery Road as right-of-way and permanent public utility easement along Olivet Church Road for the Olivet Church Road Improvement Project for and in consideration of $57,500.
Second.
Rick, would you like to explain a little bit more?
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, this is a strip of land that's on the west side of Olivet Church Road just before you get to the P&L Railway, the at-grade crossing at P&L Railway for the Olivet Church Road Improvement Project. That project, given the funding situation with the state, has been delayed for some time, and this is one of those pieces of right-of-way we delayed on in the purchase, and we have maybe one or two others to make in order that we can go ahead with that project. So this is one that's just been lingering.
Any reimbursement from the state on any of this?
This is actually reimbursable from the state because this is part of the right-of-way acquisition and utility relocation contract that we've had with the state.
Do they reimburse the entire amount or just a portion of it, or do we know?
We will request the entire amount, but the entire amount on this is in excess of the appraised value.
Okay. So what they typically do, the appraised value, that's how they...
There are rules of right-of-way acquisition as far as appraised values and how much you may be to exceed those values so as to avoid any, I guess, legal pursuit and or eminent domain for that. We try to keep that reasonable, but this is one that the county judge negotiated and not my office.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Rick? Thank you. You want to stay up there, Commissioner Abraham?
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of litter containers from Totter Inc. for the Engineering Public Works Solid Waste Division for use in Noble Park. This ordinance is summarized as follows. That the City of Paducah hereby authorizes the Finance Director to pay Totter Inc. in the amount of $25,662.82 for the purchase of 80 new 60-gallon litter containers for the City of Paducah Engineering Public Works Department, Solid Waste Division, to be used in Noble Park.
Second.
Questions? Are these replacing some or adding to?
Actually, it is to beautify Noble Park. Currently, we have rollouts that seem to, I guess, migrate all over the park from their use, and it tends to make the park look, I guess, less than desirable. And Mark Thompson and myself were looking at ways that we could have containers that were located in strategic locations that people could go to the container and dispose of their waste. In lieu of rolling the rollouts, we would find them all over the park. So I remember when I was a young person, they used to hang on poles, but they were right there next to the pavilions out there. And then, but the rollouts are not attractive. We want to make the park as attractive as possible, and we would prefer that they stay in one place rather than us having to chase them down. A lot of times when folks use the pavilions, they take liberties in moving them to convenient locations that are not convenient for pickup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Commissioner Rhodes.
Okay.
I think I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Galt. I skipped over one.
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the Finance Director to pay AES Environmental LLC for the disposal of household hazardous waste collected during the City-County Free Cleanup Day. This ordinance is summarized as follows, that the Finance Director is hereby authorized to pay AES Environmental LLC in the amount of $21,156.60 for the disposal of household hazardous waste collected during the City-County Free Cleanup Day.
Second.
Okay, and it looks like a portion of this is paid by the Kentucky Division of Waste Management.
That is correct. We receive grant monies to pay this. This is something that's done annually. For example, when paints and solvents and those things are being disposed of out of people's garages during the cleanup day, there's a special area where we take those products. They're properly disposed of, the cost of which is borne by grants we receive from the state.
Thank you. Anything else?
Better than putting it down the sewer. Okay.
Hey, Commissioner Rhodes.
All right. I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to execute change order number 1 in the amount of $3,748 with Ray Black & Son for the preservation and renovation of the Market House and River Discovery Center. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute change order number 1 for an increase in the amount of $3,748 with Ray Black & Son for additional repairs to the Market House and to finalize the project, increasing the total cost to $219,675.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? I will have to say it looks very nice.
Yeah, could you, Rick, just talk about why the change order?
Sure. $1,625 of that change order was based on the glass. Prior to us getting into the project, a lot of that glass was painted, and if you're familiar with leaded or historic glass, it's got that wavy look to it. And being a historic building, we actually estimated 200 square feet of the glass would need to be purchased and replaced, but upon the removal of the paint and realizing that that's a solid pane of glass and not the historically correct glass, then they went in and ordered the additional glass to replace that to make it all uniform around the building, so you wouldn't have a modern glass in a historic building. That was $1,625 of that. And then at the end of the building, your soffit and your eaves, those are, I guess, architectural terms for how the roof at the end of the building, you have like a gable structure that's the end of the roof, but then you have a return on that down at the base. And the returns on that were fully rotten, and they couldn't restore them or rebuild them. Well, excuse me, they couldn't use what was in place, so they had to remove all the deteriorated material and rebuild the returns at the ends of the market house on both ends. So, for example, if you were standing on Kentucky Avenue looking at the market house and you look up where that eave goes down and comes back in, the remaining portion of that, about $2,400, about $2,400 of that was to replace those returns on the soffit for that.
And the reason I ask that is that when it comes to change orders, I know that I understand whose responsibility it is to do what. But as far as the windows or the glass, that's something that the city, we didn't see that prior to contracts going out.
No, because in the past, I think maybe the market house, the museum, and or the theater, one of those windows where no light would be emitted into the area, whether it be the museum or whatever, for whatever reason. And so those window panes got painted over. Okay, but when we were restoring the building, when you're looking at a painted glass, you can't tell whether it's just a painted glass or whether it's a leaded painted glass. So when they removed the paint from it, they made a determination. This is modern glass, and then this is the correct glass. So unless we would have gone in and removed all the paint prior to the bidding of the project, we would not have known that.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Rick. Commissioner Rhodes?
Okay. I just read. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you did read that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
All right, Commissioner Abraham.
Shocked me.
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with the Paducah McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau for specific services. This ordinance is summarized as follows: that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute a contract with the Paducah McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau in the amount of $25,000 as a match for a state tourism grant, and to be used for marketing and promoting events and venues related to the American Quilter Society Show. This contract shall expire June 30th, 2013.
Second.
Hey, City Manager, would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, it's been several years we've been doing this. It's a line item in our budget, and it, again, is a match that makes possible a larger grant, actually, from the state that's all associated with promotion of the annual quilt show. So it's a very good thing for Paducah.
Any other questions? No? Okay. City Manager, do you have any kind of report tonight?
The Lowertown Arts Festival is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We invite everybody to come down for that. The city is a big contributor to that. We made a cash contribution of $15,000 for the activities, and there are a number of city departments that lend support to that in various ways. I saw the pride and joy of the Public Works Department, our portable restrooms being placed there today. So a lot of activity going on in anticipation of a big crowd and great weather, I'm sure. Next Tuesday night is the Paducah Economic Development Corporation annual meeting. I think you've all received notification of that. I've had some sentiment shared that would like to attend that. So that being the case, if it's the Commission's desire to not meet next Tuesday night, then we would forego meeting next Tuesday night so that you can be available to attend that event. That would then take us to the following Tuesday, the 28th, which is the meeting date when we would be presenting the annual budget, and that's going to be I believe, a 10 o'clock start, 9 or 10, I'm not sure. So if we don't meet next week, you can anticipate there will be some business items on that agenda on the 28th as well. That's all I have.
believe next Tuesday night, Secretary of Economic Development Larry Hayes is going to be in Paducah. So it's, it's
Very,
always good for us
very
to have the
important
opportunity to
speaker.
talk with him about projects going on. So hope that you all will be able to attend that.
Urge everybody to do
invitation.
that.
Okay. Anything else?
All I have.
I wanted to also mention on Friday night is the evening of performance sponsored by the Paducah Human Rights Commission. I believe it starts at 7 at the Carson Center. And also wanted to mention earlier today, the Mayor's Art Club had our youngest participant, Lily Shapiro. Her parents sponsored a reception for her this afternoon, and her display, along with Frida Fairchild's, is on display this, I guess, through the end of June in the city manager and mayor's office area. So I'd invite everyone to come down and see that. But it was nice of her parents to honor her with that. She is a sophomore at Tillman High School, and also recently won the Best of Photography Award at the Geyser Arts Center Teen Spirit Competition. So it was good to see young people like that participating in our arts and here today with us. So are there any public comments? All right. Is there an executive session tonight?
No, ma'am.
Not tonight. All right. Well, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.